Woodworking is taking wood that has been cut from various types of trees and turning it into something useful, such as furniture, cabinets, toys, and even abstract art. Woodworking has been around for thousands of years and is still appreciated by many today. I'm Brian Shaw, and I enjoy woodworking. As a boy, I took woodworking in middle school, which I enjoyed, and a few years later in high school I took a class in welding, and there I learned to work with metal, and I especially enjoyed the acetylene welder. At the time, I also had an interest in crossbows. I didn't have a lot of money, so I took an old snowmobile spring and created the bow portion of the crossbow. My father gave me lumber from an old oak church bench. From it, I created a gun stock with an extended support for the crossbow bolts. I then took some steel we had and created my own custom trigger system. For the crossbow string, I used bicycle cable with crimps on the ends. This crossbow worked especially well. About 5 years ago, my wife gave me a compound miter saw for Christmas, which is when my collection of woodworking tools began to grow and I became more serious about my hobby. I quickly got tired of the basic lumber you get from the local home center and decided to get some unique wood from a wood supplier. From this experience, I realized the cost of lumber, and so I started looking for ways to get my lumber cheaper. On the internet, I found I could create my own lumber from logs using a chainsaw mill. So I purchased a large chainsaw and a chainsaw mill. From the trees I have fallen, I have created several stacks of lumber. Now I look for opportunities to cut lumber from trees people want removed. I use many tools to create my projects. Some of them include the joiner, bandsaw, lathe, and router. I use a lathe to turn wood, which allows me to create things like lamps, bowls, tables, and chair legs, and many other things. One project was a lamp I made out of Paduke and maple. I created this by gluing together layers of each type of wood at an angle and then turning it on the lathe. I use a joiner to prepare wood for projects. It is used to create flat surfaces. I usually create two adjacent flat surfaces and then run the board through a thickness planer, which gives me the thickness of the board I need. The bandsaw allows me to cut curves in lumber and is also used for resaw work. I have used it to create the arch on headboards, bookcases, and other projects. One of my favorite tools is the router. It allows me to give a fancy look to the edge of my projects. With it, I have enhanced the look of cupboard doors and drawer fronts. I've made many things out of wood and plan on making